Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this lesson. This lesson is an introduction into what we call a derivative. So a derivative's purpose in life is to take a physics position equation, you take the derivative to get velocity, and then you take the derivative again to get acceleration. Sorry, my child is running away. So you take the derivative to do this. I told her if she farts or she burps on my video, I would be very upset. I mean, you guys would probably all think it would be funny, but I did not think that it was funny. Okay, so limit definition of the derivative. So limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. And this is equal to what we call f prime of x, which this is the derivative. The little like thing here is like an apostrophe. We call that prime. Okay, so if I want to find the derivative using the definition, which nobody wants to do, so we're going to show you some shortcuts here. H approaches 0, x plus h, the quantity squared, minus x squared all over h. So then this is the limit as h approaches 0, x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus x squared all over h, and what you notice is that your x squareds cancel out. One of your h's all cancel out, and I'm left with the limit as h approaches 0, 2x plus h. So when I plug in 0 in for h, I get just 2x. Okay, so now power rule is one of our shortcuts for taking the derivative. So if I have f of x is equal to x to the n power, then the derivative f prime of x is equal to n x to the n minus 1 power. So what we do is we bring the exponent down and reduce the exponent by 1. Okay, so let's find some derivatives. The 5 is really multiplied by x to the 0 power. So y prime is 5 times 0, x to the 0 minus 1. So y prime is equal to 0. That means that any constant derivative of any constant is 0. Okay, so f prime of x is equal to 5x to the 4th. Because I bring my exponent down and I reduce the exponent by 1. So here I would change this to x to the 1/3 power. So g prime of x is 1/3 x to negative 2/3 power. And the reason why we get 2/3 is we add 1/3 minus 1, which is 1/3 minus 3/3, which is negative 2/3. Y prime, bring the 3 down, reduce it by 1, so 4x squared. Bring my 2 down, so that's minus 7. Oops, I didn't even multiply that out. I don't know what I'm doing. 4 times 3x squared minus 7 times 2x minus 5 times x to the negative 2. And then the derivative of 6 is just 0. So y prime is 12x squared minus 14x minus 5x to the negative 2nd power. If I want the derivative at 2, so g of x, first of all, I would change this to a negative exponent. And then I would take the derivative. So g prime of x is equal to 2x minus 3x to the negative 4th power. I want to do this at 2. So 2 times 2 minus 3 times 2 to the negative 4th. So I get 4 minus 3 over 16, which is 64 over 16 minus 3 over 16, which is 61 over 16. All right, so now we have some trig derivatives. So the derivative of sine we did in a previous lesson, which is the limit definition, which was cosine. When we did the limit definition of cosine, we got negative sine. Tangent would be secant squared x. Cosecant of x is negative cosecant x. Cotangent x Secant is secant x tangent x. And then cotangent is negative cosecant squared of x. Derivative of a to the x, where a is some number, is a to the x ln of a. Derivative of e to the x is itself, because technically e is a number, so I had e to the x ln of e, but we know that the ln of e is 1. And then the derivative of ln is 1 over x. Derivative of log base b of x is 1 over x ln of b. All right, so now we're just going to find more derivatives using our little memorized thing. So all these have to be memorized up here. All these trig derivatives, all the logarithmic derivatives. So the derivative of sine is cosine of x minus the derivative of cosine, which is negative cosecant squared of x. So y prime is cosine of x plus cosecant squared of x. Derivative of 5e to the x is just 5e to the x. And then the derivative of 1/3 to the x power. So this is like a is equal to 1/3. So my derivative is a to the x ln of a. So y prime is 1/3 to the x power ln of 1/3. Now I will tell you guys that College Board is not going to probably have that as an answer choice with that 1/3 in there. What they're probably going to do is they're probably going to separate this out as ln of 1 minus ln of 3. And then you know that the ln of 1 is 0. So then y prime is negative ln of 3, 1/3 to the x power. Okay. So now we're at our check for understanding. What you're going to want to do is you're going to pause the video. You're going to want to try to do this question, and then you're going to want to unpause the video to see if you got the same answer that I did. Just make sure that you are aware I am asking for the second derivative. That's why there's two little dashes there. So basically like one of the quotation marks. That means I do want a second derivative. Okay, go ahead and pause. Okay, so we're back, and so I'm going to change this to x to the negative second power, and I want to find the derivative. So that's negative 2, x to the negative third power, and then I'm going to find the derivative one more time, and I'm going to get 6x to the negative fourth power. Okay, and that is it for this lesson.